Hi everyone, I am Professor Shyamala working as Dean Planning and the Director Center for Informatics and Statistics at SI University. Today we will be seeing about public awareness in solid waste management. It is a topic which is of critically important in the context of rapid urbanization and increasing the waste generation. Solid waste management is not only the environmental issue but also a public health concern. Improper waste disposal practices can lead to pollution, disease outbreak, and degradation of natural resources. The objective of this presentation is to highlight the health impact of unmanaged waste, the importance of legal frameworks such as Solid Waste Management Rules 2016, and the role of individuals and institutions in improving the waste handling practices. Through this discussion, I aim and emphasize the need for awareness, responsibility, and sustainable strategies to ensure cleaner and healthier community. Improper solid waste management has significant consequences for public health. When waste is not properly collected, segregated, or disposed of, it creates breeding ground for disease carrying vectors such as mosquitoes, flies, rodents. This leads to the spread of diseases like malaria, dengue, and cholera. Open dumping of waste also results in contamination of waste sources as leachate seeps into groundwater, making it unsafe for consumption. Additionally, burning of waste releases harmful gases such as carbon monoxide and particulate matter, contributing to the respiratory illness and long term health complications. People living near dump sites are particularly affected, experiencing high rates of infections, disease gastrointestinal disorders, skin diseases. Therefore, proper waste management is not only an environmental responsibility but also it is crucial for public health necessity. Addressing these issues requires awareness, improved infrastructure, and strict enforcement of waste management practices. The adverse effects of poor waste management are not evenly distributed. They disproportionately impact the vulnerable population. Children and elderly individuals are particularly at the high risk due to weaker immune system, making them more susceptible to infections and disease caused by the environmental pollution. Informal waste workers such as rag pickers face daily exposure to hazardous waste without protective equipments, leading to injuries, respiratory issues, and chronic illness. The rag pickers they don't have proper gloves or mask to handle the waste, but still they work on it, which leads to the injuries or some chronic illness. Low income communities often located near landfill or open dumping sites experiences higher exposure to toxic substances and polluted environment. These communities lack access to proper sanitation and health care, further exaggerating the risk. The social and economic disparities associated with mass waste management highlight the need for inclusive policies and targeted interventions. Ensuring safety, providing protective gears, and integrated informal workers into a formal waste management systems are essential steps towards reducing these inequalities. A well defined legal framework is essential for effective solid waste management. Without clear regulations, waste handling practices which can become inconsistent and inefficient, leading to environmental degradation and public health risk. Legal frameworks establish guidelines for waste segregation, collection, transportation, and disposal, ensuring uniform practices across the region. They also define the roles and responsibilities of various stakeholders, including urban local bodies, private operators, and citizens. Enforceable laws helps in preventing illegal dumping and promote accountability. In addition to regulation, which encourage the adoption of scientific waste processing techniques such as recycling, composting, and energy recovery, They also provide mechanism for monitoring and penalizing non-compliances. Overall, a strong legal framework acts as a backbone of sustainable waste management system. However, the success of such regulations depends upon effective implementation, awareness among the citizen, and coordination among the various authorities. Solid Waste Rules 2016 represent a significant advancement in India's waste management policies. These rules replaced the earlier municipal solid waste rules of 2000 and expanded the scope to include all types of waste generators such as residential, commercial, and institutional sources. One of the key features of these rules is emphasis on waste segregation at sources, which is essential for efficient processing and recycling. The rules also promote scientific disposal methods and discourage open dumping and burning of waste. Importantly, they recognize the role of informal waste workers and encourage their integration into formal system, thereby improving the efficiency and providing livelihood opportunities. The Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 aim to create a comprehensive and sustainable waste management framework that addresses environmental, social, and economic aspects. Their successful implementation is crucial for achieving cleaner and healthier urban living. Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 include several key provisions designed to improve waste handling practices. One of the most important requirements is the mandatory segregation of waste at source into biodegradable, non biodegradable, and hazardous category. This ensures that waste can be processed efficiently through composting, recycling, or a safe disposal. Urban local bodies are responsible for ensuring door to door collection system of the waste, and it ensures the proper treatment process also. The rules strictly prohibit the burning of solid waste as it contributes to air pollution and health hazard. Penalties are imposed on individuals and organizations that fails to comply with these regulations. Additionally, the rules encourage decentralized waste processing, reducing the burden on landfills by promoting segregation, scientific treatment, and accountability. These provisions aim to create a more efficient and environmentally sustainable waste management system. Every individual plays a crucial role in effective solid waste management. According to Solid Waste Management Rules 2016, waste generators are responsible for segregation of waste at the source into biodegradable, recyclable, and hazardous categories. This step is fundamental because mixed waste becomes difficult to process and often ends up in landfill. Households must ensure that waste is handed over only to authorized collectors or municipal services. Bulk waste generators such as hotels, institutions, and housing societies have additional responsibility, including processing their waste on site through composting or recycling method. They also require to pay user friendly fees for collection and avoiding littering in public spaces. By adopting these practices, citizens contribute significantly to reducing environmental pollution and improving waste management efficiently. Public awareness and behavioral change are essential to ensure compliances and long term sustainability. Urban local bodies or ULBs are the backbone of municipal solid waste management system. They are responsible for planning, implementing and monitoring waste collection, transportation and disposal process. ULBs must establish infrastructure such as waste collection centers, transfer stations and processing facilities like composting units and recycling plants. They are also tasked with framing local bylaws in alignment with national regulations and ensuring strict enforcement. Public awareness campaigns conducted by ULBs play a vital role in educating citizens about the segregation and responsible waste disposal strategies. Additionally, They must conduct a regular audit and it should be reported to track the performance and identify the areas for improvement. Effective coordination between ULBs, urban local bodies, private agencies, and citizens is essential for achieving efficient waste management. Strengthening institutional capacity and adopting modern technologies can further enhance their effectiveness in managing urban waste challenges. The informal sectors, particularly waste pickers and rag pickers, plays a significant role in recycling and material recovery. However, their contribution often go unrecognized and they work under unsafe conditions. The Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 emphasize the integration of these workers into a formal waste management system, which includes providing them with identification card, safety equipments, and training the programs which is conducted to train the workers. Integrating informal workers not only improves their livelihood but also enhances the efficiency of the recycling process. Most of the ULBs depends on the informal workers for the segregation process. These workers possesses valuable knowledge about waste segregation and material recovery which can be leveraged to improve overall system performance. Formal inclusions also ensures better working conditions and social security benefits. Recognizing and supporting the informal sector is essential for creating an inclusive and sustainable waste management system that benefits both the environment and the society. The effective solid waste management requires a combination of strong policies, public awareness, and active participation from all the stakeholders. The Solid Waste Management Rule 2016 provides a comprehensive framework, but their success depends upon the proper implementation and monitoring. Future strategies should focus on capacity building, technological advancement, and real time monitoring system to improve efficiency. Promoting decentralized waste management practices such as composting and recycling at the community level can significantly reduce the burden on the landfills. Additionally, integrating informal workers and encouraging public participation are key to achieving the sustainable outcomes. Awareness campaigns and educational programs can help change the attitudes and behavior towards waste management. By adopting a holistic approach that combines environmental, social, and economic consideration, can move towards cleaner cities and healthier communities. Waste generation is a fundamental parameter in designing and managing solid waste system. It refers to total quantity of waste produced by the households, institution, industries and commercial establishment. Understanding waste generation pattern is essential for planning efficient collection, transportation and disposal system. Several factors influence waste generation including population growth, urbanization, economic development, and lifestyle changes. For instance, urban areas tend to produce more waste due to higher consumption level and increased use of packaged goods. Similarly, economic growth often leads to increased waste generation due to higher purchasing power and consumption pattern. Accurate estimation of waste generation helps in determining infrastructure requirement and optimizing the resource allocation. Therefore, analyzing waste generation is a critical step in developing sustainable and efficient waste management strategies. Municipal solid waste consist of various type of waste generated from different sources. Household waste includes food scraps, plastics, paper, and packaging material. Commercial waste is generated from offices, retail stores, and restaurants, while institutional waste comes from schools, hospitals, and government buildings. Street waste includes litter, dust, and debris which is collected from the public spaces. The composition of waste varies depending on factors such as income level, lifestyle, and geographical location. For example, high income areas tend to generate more packaging and recyclable materials, while low income areas produces a higher proportion of organic waste. Understanding the composition of municipal solid waste is essential for selecting appropriate treatment and disposal method. Proper classification and segregation of waste improve recycling efficiency and reduce the environmental impact of waste management practices. Global waste generation is increasing at an alarming rate due to rapid urbanization and population growth. According to the World Bank, approximately 2 billion ton of municipal solid waste is generated annually worldwide. This figure is expected to rise around 3.4 billion tons by 2050 if current trends continues. Developing countries are experiencing a fastest growth in waste generation due to urban expansion and changing consumption pattern. However, these regions often lack adequate infrastructure for waste collection and processing. In contrast, developing countries generate more waste per capita but have better system for recycling and waste management. These global trends highlight the urgent need for sustainable waste management practices and international cooperation. Addressing this issue requires a combination of policy interventions, technological innovations, and public awareness initiatives. India faces significant challenges in managing municipal solid waste due to its large population and rapid urbanization. The country generates over 160,000 tons of waste per day, with per capita waste generation ranging from zero point 0.2 to 1 kilogram per day, depending on the city size. Major metropolitan cities such as Delhi and Mumbai produce more than 9 tons of waste daily. The increasing volume of waste puts an immense pressure on existing waste management infrastructure, leading to issues such as overflowing of landfill and environmental pollution. In many areas, waste collection and segregation practice are inadequate, resulting in insufficient processing and disposal. Addressing these challenges requires improved infrastructure, strict enforcement on regulations, and increasing the public awareness. Promoting waste reduction, recycling, and composting can help managing the growing waste burden and ensure sustainable urban development. Waste generation is influenced by multiple interrelated factors. Population growth is the primary driver, as more people naturally produce more waste. Urbanization further increases waste generation due to higher consumption pattern, increasing the packages and the lifestyle. Modern lifestyle includes the usage of single-use plastics, fast food consumption, and electronic products, which significantly contributes to the waste volume. Economic status also plays a crucial role. Higher income group tend to generate more packaging and electronic waste, while lower income groups have more organic waste. Industrialization and commercialization further add to the complexity of the waste stream. Understanding these factors is essential for designing targeted waste management strategies. By identifying the key drivers of waste generation, policymakers and planners can develop effective interventions such as waste reduction initiative, recycling programs, and awareness campaigns to minimize the environmental impact and promote sustainable practices. Waste composition varies significantly based on the income level. High income countries typically generate more waste per capita with large proportion of recyclable materials such as plastics, papers and metals. This is largely due to higher consumption of packaged goods and disposable products. In contrast, low income countries generate less waste overall but a higher percentage of biodegradable material, mainly consisting of food and organic waste. Middle income country exhibits the mix of both the organic and recyclable waste and these variations have important implication of waste management strategies. For instance, composting is more suitable for regions with high organic waste, while recycling systems are more effective in areas with significant dry waste. Understanding these differences help in designing region specific waste management solutions that are both efficient and sustainable. A tailored approaches ensure better resource utilization and reduced environmental impact. Waste generation is not constant and varies over time due to several factors. Daily variations are observed with higher waste generation during weekends and holidays due to increased consumption and social activities. Seasonal variation also plays a vital role. For example, food waste tends to increase during festival season and harvest period. Event based variation are other important factors as large gatherings such as festivals, fairs, and public events generate temporary spikes in waste production. These fluctuations creates a challenges for waste management system as they require flexible and adaptive strategies to handle peak loads. Understanding temporal variation is also essential for efficient planning and resource allocation. Municipal authorities can use this information to optimize collection schedules, deploy additional resources during peak period, and ensures timely waste processing. This helps in maintaining cleanliness and preventing environmental and health issues. Waste generation patterns vary significantly across regions and between urban and rural area. Urban areas typically produce more waste due to higher population density, industrial activity and consumption of packaged goods. As a result, urban waste contains higher proportion of plastics, metals and glasses. In contrast, rural areas generate less waste overall with a higher proportion of organic and agricultural waste. Regional differences is also rises due to variation in economic development, cultural practices, and industrial activity. For example, industrial towns may generate more hazardous and construction waste, while agricultural regions produce more biodegradable waste. Understanding these variation is crucial for designing effective waste management system tailored to a local condition. Customized approach ensures efficient collection, treatment, and disposal of waste, ultimately contributing to sustainable development and improved environmental quality. Accurate measurement of waste generation is essential for effective planning and management. One of the most reliable methods is the weighbridge method, where waste is weighed at collection or disposal points. However, these methods can be expensive and requires proper infrastructure. In situations where direct weighing is not feasible, volume to weight estimation methods are used, which involve calculating the waste quantities based on the volume and density factor. Waste audits and sampling techniques are also commonly used to analyze waste composition and identify the sources of waste generation. These methods provide valuable insights into the waste characteristics, helping in the design of appropriate treatment and recycling strategies. Each method has its advantage and limitations, and a combination of approaches is often used for accurate assessment. Reliable data on waste generation is crucial for optimizing resource allocation and improving the overall waste management efficiency. So, overall highlight of this session is waste handling leads to environmental consequences, and the solid waste management rules 2016 provides a comprehensive framework which emphasize on waste generation, population growth, urbanization, and variation in waste generation and all those things. And effective management requires coordination effort from the governments, urban local bodies, industries, and citizens. Waste generation varies significantly across region, income level, and sources. Globally, waste generation exceeds 2 billion tons annually, and this variation is influenced by economic development, population density, and consumption pattern. Understanding these variation is essential for designing effective waste management system. Different regions produce different types of waste, requiring tailored strategies for collection, treatment, and disposal. For example, the developed countries generate more recyclable waste while developing regions produce more organic waste. Recognizing these differences allows policymakers to implement appropriate technologies and policies. Additionally, analyzing waste variation helps in predicting future trends and planning infrastructure accordingly. And by addressing these variation, we can improve the efficiency, reduces the environmental impact, and promote sustainable waste management practices both in a local and global scale. Global waste generation scenario highlights the magnitude of challenge we face today. Approximately 2 billion tons of municipal solid waste are generated annually, and this figure expected to increase nearly 70% by 2050. So, the per capita waste generation varies from 0.11 kg to 4.54 kg per day. These disparities reflect differences in consumption pattern, economic development, and overall waste burden on the environment. Regional variation in waste generation provide valuable insights into different management practices. In the United States, municipal solid waste generation reached approximately 292 million tons in 2018, average 4.9 pounds per person per day. The recycling and composting rate was about 32%, indicating progress, but also there is a room for improvement. Developing regions such as sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia, and the Middle East and North Africa are experiencing rapid growth in waste generation. In many of these regions, waste volumes are expected to double or even triple by 2050 due to urbanization and population growth. However, waste collection rate remains low, with only about 44% of urban waste being collected in some area. A significant portion of waste in these regions is organic, accounting for approximately 50% of total waste. Open dumping is still a common practice, leading to environmental pollution and health risk. Limited infrastructure and financial resources pose additional challenges. Waste originate from municipal solid waste, uh, and multiple sources contribute different type of material. So commercial waste is entirely different when compared to that of domestic waste, and industrial activity produce large volume of hazardous material. Construction, some clinical waste is having a hazardous substances, and in developing country organic waste dominates, while in developed region dry recyclable waste such as plastic and metals are more common. Several factors influence the variation in waste generation across region. Income level is a key determinant, with higher income populations generating more recyclable waste and lower income populations producing more organic waste. Urbanization and industrialization also contribute to increased waste volumes due to higher consumption and production activity. Lifestyle and consumption patterns, such as use of disposable products and packaged goods, further influence waste composition. Additionally, differences in reporting methodologies and data collection practices can affect the comparability of waste statistics across the region. Economic growth is often associated with increased waste generation. However, some countries are beginning to decouple economic growth from waste production through sustainable practices. Understanding these influences is essential for develop targeted waste management practices. Improper waste management has also significant impact on environmental and economic issues. The waste contributes to approximately 20% of the human related methane. In conclusion, waste generation is a complex and dynamic issue influenced by various factors like region, income, consumption pattern, uh, development of the country, and infrastructure. While the reducing the waste and improving the recycling rate should be the main focus of concern. So I hope this session was useful. Thank you.